booktube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter and welcome to my May 2025 TBR. Say it with me everybody, it's TBR time! Yay! Happy May the 1st everybody. So I'm filming this video and posting this video all in the same day. Very, very exciting. I am super stoked about my May TBR. It's really pared down to how that usually is. I know a lot of people talk when they do their TBRs month to month, they call it their pile of possibilities. This is my pile of probabilities. These are the 10 books that I definitely want to get to, like 100%. These are my priorities. A lot of these are like, so half of this list is actually like the next book in series that I need to read. The rest of the books are like mood reads, like, oh, I really want to read this, or I really want to read that. And there's a couple of events happening this month that my friends are hosting that I am unofficially participating in. I'm not like doing any challenges. I'm not trying to like tick any boxes for these challenges. I'm not doing any group reads. I'm just showing my support by reading books that would fit into these events, so I can show my support that way. That's just the way I'm doing things now. I'm not really, I mean, until Garb August, when I really jump in whole hog with Garb August, that I'm looking forward to. But for this, I'm not really, for any events going forward, I'm just kind of like unofficially participating. And the other thing is that you're not going to hear about any category romance books. No Harlequin books in this video. I am reading them. I always have a category romance book on the go. So I will be reading those. So stay tuned for videos later on in the month. I will definitely be talking about what I'm reading, but I'm not going to be sharing those in this video because those are like, I'm reading next book in series or I'm reading a book from a box set. So those aren't my like priority reads. Those are like my fun extra. I mean, not that reading isn't fun. I think you guys know what I mean. But those aren't like my, oh, these are the ones I really want to get to. They're just the ones that I'm reading next and, you know, really enjoying. So yeah. But anyway, guys, 10 books to share with you. So let's first talk about the 2 books that are not part of any of these reading events. So these 2 books are romances, and they were both library picks. I've talked about these before in a previous video, probably in a daily reading vlog. And I haven't gotten to them yet, and I want to. So yay on that. So here we go. So the first book is by a Canadian author, actually a Torontonian author. This is The Takedown by Lily Chu. So I am really excited about this one. I got it out of the library, the lovely little Canadian flag sticker to show it's a Canadian author. And yeah, so this is, it says for D, every day is the perfect day. No, really. She has a house she loves, a job she adores, and a ridiculously attractive nemesis that she can play off of. How can life possibly get better? It can't, obviously. It can only get much, much worse. And that's all I'm going to read for you guys. I read her book, The Stand-In. I think I listened to it on audio because it was an Audible exclusive a number of years ago. And it was so good. It was a prince in the pauper story, a princess in the pauper story, if you will, about 2 women who looked identical. One is a very famous actress. The other was kind of like your everyday average individual. And they switched like identities. It was so fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one by her. I think it's going to be really great. And there is a good chance that a lot of these books I'm probably going to be reading on audio, to be honest. I did say like I don't have the commute into work that I used to, and audiobooks is when I would listen, like I would listen to audiobooks during my commutes, which is how I started listening to audiobooks in the first place many years ago. But now that I don't have that anymore, I now have a 5-minute drive to work, which is fantastic. The one thing I realized that I really want to do in May, because the weather's getting nicer and all those things, is that, and because I don't have to leave as early in the morning to go to work, I want to start walking again. A couple summers ago, I used to go every morning, and I would go for an hour-long walk around my neighborhood, and I would listen to an audiobook, and I loved it. And I need to get back into doing it again. So these will probably be a lot of like reading with my eyeballs along with listening. So it'll probably be like a dual, doing both, you know what I mean, depending on the situation. So yeah. So there's a chance that most of these might be listened to on audio as well as being read with my eyeballs. So I'm looking forward to that one. So the other one that I have that is in the romance category is Beach Vibes by Susan Mallory. This is her newest. This literally just came out. And I'm really excited about it. I love Susan Mallory's work. I'm never disappointed by one of her books. And this is perfect. We're going right into summer. This is exactly what I want. So this one is, well, Beth is proud of her Malibu beach shop, surf sandwiches. She's even prouder of her charismatic brother, Rick, who rose from foster care all the way through surgical residency. She makes subs, he saves lives. Things take a turn for the happy after she finds out Rick is dating her new best friend, Jana. Then Jana's handsome brother, Teddy, adds even more sparkle to Beth's days and nights. So it sounds like it's going to be a romance or a couple different romances. Story about friendship, I'm assuming, as well. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So the first event that is taking place in the month of May is, I believe it is called Mystery Mayhem. If I have that incorrect, I will put the correct title here. I do apologize. But this is being hosted by a bunch of people, but two of my friends are two of the co-hosts. And they are Tiffany over at the Beach Bum Bookworm and Sonia from Sonia with an I. I will leave a link to both of their channels in the description box below. So definitely jump in and jump over and check out their channels if you haven't yet. But this is an event that focuses on mysteries. So again, I'm not like participating by like, I think you have to get points and you do all these different things and you're on teams and it's like, it's a thing. It's a big thing. And it sounds like a very cool thing. It's just a lot more than I want to take on right now, going back to work for the first time in almost a year. Excuse me. So I'm unofficially participating by reading a bunch of mystery books. And I do love me a mystery. And these are all cozies. And I've got 5 of them here. And 4 of them are next in series. And 1 is a first in series. But it's a book I've been wanting to read for a while. So I'm super looking forward to it. So the first one is one that I've already started. I'm about that far into it so far. We have Gone for Gouda by Karina Moss, which is the second book in the Cheese Shop Mystery Series. In this one, a very famous influencer is found out to be a bit of a fraud and is murdered, and one of the people who work at the cheese shop with Willa is kind of being looked at for her murder. So far I'm enjoying this one. I did start this on audio. I do have a copy on Audible, so I am that far on audio. I listened to some of it last night, and then some of it more this morning when I was getting ready for work, and I'm enjoying it so far, so yay on that one. The next one we have is the second book in the Noodle Shop Mystery Series, which I love. It's one of my favorite series. We have Dim Sum of All Fears by Vivian Chen. And yeah, I don't know what happens in this one. It says, welcome back to Holy Noodle House, where you can get fantastic takeout unless you get taken out first. So yeah, no idea what this one is about. Oops, and I just dropped a book on the floor. And yeah, but I'm going to enjoy it because I love these, and I do love these on audio. I know it's controversial, but I think the narrators in this book, in this series, changed at some point, and I know a lot of people love the new narrator more. I like the old narrator. I like the original narrator in the first so many books like this one. So I'm looking forward to listening to this one on audio because I do love them on audio. Excuse me while I reach down and grab this book. Sorry about that, friends. So another one that is second in series, we have Buttercream Bump Off by Jen McKinley, which is the second book in the Cupcake Bakery Mystery Series. I read the first book last month, I think, and I enjoyed it. Sorry, something got hiccups. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this series is amazing, but it was definitely enjoyable. So it says, a heartless murder for Valentine's Day. My goodness, I don't know where these hiccups came from. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. It'll be a lot of fun. These ones are not terribly long at all. They're a relatively quick read, so yay on that one. And then I have is this the 5th book? The 5th book in the Cat Who Mystery Series. And we have The Cat Who Played Brahms by Lillian Jackson Braun. I do own this copy. This is not from the library. And these make me so happy. Is it just a case of summertime blues or a full-blown career crisis? Newspaper reporter Jim Quillerin isn't sure, but he's hoping a few days in the country will help him sort out his life. With cats Coco and Yum Yum for company, Quillerin heads for a cabin owned by a longtime family friend, Aunt Fanny. But from the moment he arrives, things turn strange. Eerie footsteps cross the roof at midnight, local townsfolk become oddly secretive. And then, while fishing, Quillerin hooks on to the murder mystery. Soon Quill enters into a game of cat and mouse with the killer, while Coco develops a sudden and uncanny fondness for classical music. So yay, I cannot wait to get to this one. This is not available on audio. I'll be reading it with my eyeballs, but I love these so much. I just love like the chapter like that. These are just delightful. Oh, I can't wait to get to this one. And then the last one is a new to me one. This was up for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I don't think it didn't win for the mystery category, but it was up for the Goodreads Choice Awards. And this is How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. And this looks so good. This looks so good. So basically what this one is about, it's about a woman who back in the 1960s goes to a carnival and she sits with a fortune teller, and the fortune teller tells her that she's going to die. So she spends her entire life preventing her own death until she's suddenly murdered. Now, her niece has come to the estate and needs to find out who murdered her aunt. So it sounds delightful, but it is first in the series. There is a second book out. So I am very, very much looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And I cannot wait to get to it. Yay on that one. And yeah, so that is it for the mysteries. So now the next 3 books that I have are actually all ebooks. But, so I don't have physical copies of them, but I will post pictures up here for you guys to see. And these are for Middle Grade May, which is an event that is hosted by 4 of my friends. We have Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books, Stormy over at Storm Reads, Lee from Dark Roots Creations, and Beth from Soul Stained Ink. So I will leave a link to all 4 of those ladies' channels in the description box below as well. So make sure you go and subscribe to all of them. So this is basically an event to read middle grade books in May. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do love middle grade. I really, really do. And I think that these ones are going to be fun. These are 3 very different books. Well, sort of. And 2 of them I have Storm to blame for because she talked about them quite some time ago in a video. They were new releases, I think, back in February, and I immediately bought both of them, and I haven't gotten to them yet, so I need to get to them. The first one is one I'm going to borrow from the library. I heard about this one because I was looking at this author because she has actually written adult romance books, sapphic adult romance books, which I loved. She wrote, it's Ashley Herring Blake. She wrote, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank on the title? The title of the first book in I think it's the Bright Something series. It's a delightful small town romance. I think there's like 3 or 4 books. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. That's the first book. And I loved it so much. And I want to read the rest of that series, but I was looking her up and I saw this book and I saw it was a middle grade book. I've talked about this book before on my channel and a lot of you have said that you really enjoyed it. So we have Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. So this is about a young girl who has 2 moms, and one of her mothers dies in a boating accident. I guess she dies in the ocean or something. And then her other mother starts dating, I think. And then that this woman has a daughter the same age as Hazel, like our main character. So it's kind of like her navigating after the death of her mother and learning like her other mother's moving on and you know, stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what it's about. But I've heard like a friend of mine say that her books are super, super fantastic. Like her middle grades are really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this one's going to be kind of like a bit of a tearjerker, but that's great. The next one is one I am super looking forward to because I love this author. I've read a couple of her books. The first book I read by her was fantastic. Unfortunately, the rest of them haven't been, did I read 2 more after that? Haven't been as good, but this one sounds really good. And it's called It's Watching by Lindsay Curry. And just that cover alone is kind of creepy. So this is more of like a middle grade horror novel, and it's like a spooky book. And I have not, Storm talked about it. I remember it sounded super good. And I think and a lot of the stuff that Lindsay Curry writes is based on actual true historical events. So I'm very, very interested to find out what that historical event is and how it ties into the story. The first book by her that I read that I thought was fabulous was Scritch Scratch. And if you're looking for a middle grade spooky book to read, check out Scritch Scratch. It was actually based on a boating accident that happened in Chicago at the turn of the century. And it was unbelievably fantastic. Like, reading it made the hair on my arm stand up. Like, it was so creepy, and I can just imagine what it would be like for a middle grader to read a book like that. And the last one is What Fell from the Sky by Adriana Severus, I think is how you say this author's name. And I think, from the sounds of it, they say it's based on, like, historical events as well. I think it's Roswell, but I'm not absolutely certain. But it's something around that lines, like something fell from the sky near this town, and maybe it's aliens, who knows? I don't know. It's, again, Storm talked about this one in a video. I bought it. I own it. I need to read it. I'm going to read it this month. That's the game plan anyway. So yeah, so those are all of the books that are my must-get-tos for the month of May. Again, like I said, along with some category romance books. Next in series books that I've already been reading. And of course, this is the Nancy Drew month. So for those of you following along on my nostalgic journey, every month, or every 30-ish days or so, I'm switching. So last month I was reading Sweet Valley Twins. This month we are back to Nancy Drew, the Nancy Drew Case Files, which is the series that came out in the 1980s. I have book 7 and 8 here. So I plan to get to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in the month of May. I read these over 5 days each. So the one I'm starting today, I haven't started it yet, is Deadly Doubles by Caroline Keene. Nancy plays a new kind of sport, and murder is the name of the game. So this one sounds really good. And then book number 8 is 2 Points to Murder, where she goes back to her boyfriend's college because it's something about somebody on the basketball team. Something's happening there. So the other, I have book 10 in my possession. It's in the book room. I have to grab it. But the other 3 books I have ordered from Thrift Books, and they're on their way to me as we speak. So I'll be getting to those later on in the month as well. So I do have a lot of reading plans, but only 10 official books that I'm sharing with you guys that are my must get tos. You know what I mean? And like I said, a good chunk of them I might be listening to on audio, like a back and forth kind of an idea. Listening to it a bit on audio, listening to it or reading it a bit with my eyeballs, depending on how the situation goes. So anyway, guys, that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my friends below that I left link to and show them some bookish love. And let me know in the comments if you guys have read any of these books and what you thought about them. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.